Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Capture Wednesday. This is your host, Tom, tonight. And yes, I am here, Pete. I'd like to welcome everybody in. Bob from PK and W, welcome. He was here. He had to go do something. He'll be back, he said. Dwight Curley, welcome, Dwight. Floyd Robbins, how you doing? Glad to see you in here tonight. John from Schuylkill Valley, J2, I guess. Welcome, John. Glad to see you in here. Dave from BNSF N Scale. Welcome, Dave. Ronald, how you doing? Welcome. Glad to see you in here. Heath, how you doing, Heath? Yes, I am here. And let's see, did I miss anything? James, how you doing, James? Welcome. How's things up in Canada? That's everybody, I think, so far. Keep an eye on it if I can. Sometimes the chat goes by a mile a minute. Everybody can hear me, right? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Yeah, it's been raining here all day in New Jersey too, James, so don't feel bad. Well, I guess you can hear me if you responded to that, Matt. No, that's good. I've been extremely busy since last Friday, cleaning up the layout. It was long overdue. And I did a video of it. If you've seen it, then you know what I was working on. But for those who didn't see the video, I cleaned all the levels. Barbara was here helping me when she could. And we took all the vehicles off of the layout, vacuumed them all off. That way the roads were easy to vacuum up when the cars were out of the way. And then all the buildings, can't take the building. A lot of the buildings I can't take off the layout because they're. Hey Bob, welcome again. Because they're connected to the power lines with all those wires that I have set up to go from the power line to telephone poles and everything, or power poles. So it makes it difficult. But some of the roofs come off easy. Some are glued all together. So vacuuming off the roof is sometimes a challenge. But and then I started fixing things because I was looking at something. A person that was glued in place fell over, so re-glued them. That's right, Bob. You get the cookie for the evening. So I spent a lot of time doing that. Today, I just got done vacuuming up the buildings on the third level that's over my workbench. There's only two or three buildings up there, so that wasn't hard to do. The barn, I'm able to remove the barn with the house. All the lights, wires, and the power line were hooked up to it, so I couldn't take that down. So I vacuumed it up there. Was pretty busy. Dwight, you sold your boat? That's interesting. So you're not going fishing no more, huh, Dwight? So anyway, that's what I've been busy doing. After I cleaned, the only thing left is my helix. I have to dust that off. So yeah. And, so today I worked on the subway system a bit. I was putting up the panels and the tunnel pieces, and this is the side that I was working on. So as you can see, all the sides are covered. Since I used clear resin to print the sides to make it clearer, and this is clear filament. Now you can see through it a little bit, but not as good as you can the clear resin. So since this is the back wall of the subway system, you can't look into there anyway. I decided to put those panels there, and use the clear ones on the front side, where then you'll be able to see the subway silhouettes going, trains going through. And so I got the tunnel pieces. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but right there is where the last cover piece is. I'm working my way down this side, and eventually this corner here will be enclosed. And then the camera, which sits back in this corner here, but it's up here high. Every time I go in that training room, the camera moves because my head is visible in this area here. So if I move the camera, that's my table, and that's the monitor that has all the cameras on it. So when I move through there, the camera moves around, and then it goes down. And then we go down this way. And this side I started also. I got a couple pieces up here, and I got a piece laying there because I needed to get my hand in there. I got a couple pieces to put across here. This one here I got to push back up against the brace there. It's just sitting there right now. And then what I had to do is I had to design a holder for the domes that I'm making, make it look like a tunnel. Because the original design was that they were going to go in between the brackets, and then they would just sit on top of the. Hey Floyd, welcome. They would lay on top of this side piece, but what happens is movement, and they would fall over the side and stuff like that. So these red things you see here, they're it's a little pad that I made with a knob on it, and that the knob glues onto the pillar, and then these walls can slide into place, so I don't have to glue them. So I stick them every other one, so I can get in and out easy. Then I designed a holder to lay on top of the side here, which then the dome will come down into that groove, and it'll sit there. Now it's not going to be perfectly lined up because that isn't perfectly lined up there. And some are a little lower to brackets. I had to move a couple brackets today. Some were far away from the wall, so I unscrewed them from the floor and then moved them over and put them back up again. So it's a lot of time and work to do them and to get them all lined up. And like these were spaced so that the 9-inch piece that I printed, which was one of the longest pieces I could print on the resin printer at the time, would fit in between there and lean up against that wall. So the back walls, I'm going to just glue them in place to hold them there. Uh, in most of the spots, some spots where I might need to, I can reach the back side because I can get behind the layout and get to that area. Like this piece here, I won't glue it because I can take that out and work on something if I had to, if I had a derailment or something. But the front pieces, I can get to it. This is easy. So that's what I've been working on. And we close that out. And over here on the third level, over in this area here where the garbage dump is, that scene over there, used to be a brick wall, and it went from the base of the layout all the way up to the ceiling. And I really didn't like that. It really didn't look realistic to me. 11-7, that's not too bad. Floyd, thanks a lot. I really didn't like that. So I watched some videos, and this guy is making stone walls out of pink foam. So this is what I did. I don't know if you can see the cuttings in there, but that's what I'm going to use instead. And then I can make these, different levels and stuff like that. It'll be more realistic, like a rock wall instead of this. Hello, Tammy and Ray. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Um, so I'm putting that. I'm going to change that. I got a big piece of this, and I'm going to start cutting them out. Order some paint colors. The local Hobby Lobby didn't have them, so I ordered them from Hobby Lobby online. A couple of colors that I need to make the rock color. So yeah, that's what I do, Bob. Yeah, I saw a bunch of videos, guys, using different techniques to make rocks, and since I had a lot of this stuff left over, I figured I might as well use it. And the paint, when he painted his, you don't even know it was pink before. And what he did was he put his um, on the layout, he glued them in place, and then he um, he carved it there. But I want to make a big mess up there with all this pink foam. Just doing this one little piece, I had a big mess on the floor. I'm going to carve them out here, and then I'll put them up there and glue them in place. Then it'll look better like a wall instead of a brick. The brick wall was just flat and straight up. It had no depth or anything like that. So this will give it depth if I use sections and then put it up there, and I can make a rock formation back there. That make the tunnel for a train coming in. but this also has another purpose. The aggregated well carts that I have that I bought, when they came through here, they would uncouple because they're only connected together by a little itty bitty pin. I don't know why they designed them that way. They should have made the pin a little taller. I 3D printed a pin and then I glued them on, but they broke off and stuff like that. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that car yet. But or I might see where exactly they're uncoupling and fix it. It's probably just a low spot that affects them. So yeah. Well, I didn't use a foam cutter. I used a box knife. And what I did was score this way and then score this way. Then I just started chipping away at it. So it's going to be an interesting project to make all that wall. But I'm not in a hurry because I want to run the trains through there while the wall's open so I can see what's going on. All the other cars come through it with no problem. They're coupled together, with KD couplers. So we'll just have to wait and see how it works. I'll run a train up there with just those aggregated well cars and see which one comes undone or if any of them do or they still do or what. So we'll wait and see. So that's another thing that I did, taking the wall out. After I cleaned, I decided to take the wall out. I should have taken it out before I cleaned the third level, but hindsight, it was just a little extra dirt that I had to vacuum up, get that clean. Yeah, if you use spray paint, well, I might airbrush them since they're going to be small sections. And I might use my airbrush because I'm going to be using colors. Am I going to use to mix them up to make them look like rock? Ebony black, uh, burnt sienna, that's a brownish color, and light avocado. Those three colors, you mix them together, you add water to them, and it makes a wash, and then you just go over it. So I might do it with the airbrush. Like I say, they're not going to be, I'm not going to make real big pieces. Well, yeah, I do have a hot knife, Bob. Um, I can try that too. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And then today, I got my order in from Tony's Trains Exchange, and I got a. This is just a book, but this is a Sherlock. I don't know if it's going to show up. A Sherlock detector. That's the board. Has a bunch of jumpers and on it and stuff. And I'm trying to figure out how to connect this um, to get these uh, little optical sensors to work. So printer just finished printing some stuff. So these optical sensors go in the track, and then when the train runs over them, it'll send a signal to the mini panel. So, and the Sherlock detector connects to the mini panel, and then it has from jumpers 1 through 8 get connected to the Sherlock detector uh, in different on different terminals, on the terminal jumpers here, and then you have to have one of these jumpers get connected to the mini panel's ground connector, so it's grounded. And then the only problem I have right now is trying to figure out how to power this thing. Um, there's 2 jumpers here that say DCC1 and DCC2, and I hooked them up to my track bus line and on the workbench, and it powered on because the LED, that orange thing there, you can see on the paper, or maybe you can or not, but there's an orange thing there. That's an LED that lights up when the device has power. So Prism Live. So anyway, so that's the only thing that I haven't gotten working yet is because in the manual they talk about how to interface the mini panel, and then they call it the NCE cab bus. Well, what I call a cab bus is different than what I think they're talking about here. A matter of fact, I sent an email to DCC Concepts about a problem I was having with one of their devices, and I told them, they came back and asked me, well, how many, uh, give us a description of your layout. So I told them I have 20 DCC bus lines. Now, to me, a bus line is the wire, 2 wires. I use 14 gauge stranded wire to run the bus line that goes all the way around the layout. And then the feeders from the track come down and connect to the bus line. Okay? That's what I call a bus line. Well, when I got the response back from DCC Concepts, they were confused about the word bus line. Now, is it bus line? Does they call it something different? I don't get it. So uh, it was just funny. I thought everybody I listened to, I watched a lot of YouTube videos of people doing things, wiring and stuff, and they're all saying, yeah, you got your bus line that's connected to either your Digitrax system, your NCE system, whatever other systems are out there. It's called a bus line. It comes out, tracked out. Well, I thought maybe I had gotten the response from somebody that wasn't in model trains for long, but I don't. So I was just confused, and I got the problem resolved by figuring it out myself. But um, it was just strange that somebody didn't know the term bus line. Now, everybody out here, I'm sure you call that wire that you run from your system out to feed the tracks to a bus line. Maybe I'm wrong. But this device has two RJ12 connectors on it, but it says local net there. So the cab bus cable, which is a 6-pin wire, flat or curly, connects to all your devices in the NCE world. It connects to your mini panels, your AUO1s, and you daisy chain them all together. Well, they're talking about in the manual NCE cab bus plus 12 volts must be connected to either J11 or J12. J11 and J12 are these two DCC in1 and DCC in2 ports. No 6-pin connector is going to plug into that. So I know this is DCCspecialties.com. They're the makers of the Sherlock detector, which Tony's Trains and Exchange sells them. I don't know if Tony's Trains and Exchange picked up this company and now are marketing them. I don't know. But I looked up the DCCspecialties.com website. It doesn't exist anymore. So it's strange. So maybe I'll call them up tomorrow and talk to them and see what well, two of them are down. I ordered motors from AliExpress. Okay. Then they shipped them out. That was in the beginning of April that I ordered them. And they were shipped out. It took about 2 weeks to get on a plane to come over to the U.S. It took 3 weeks to get on a plane to come to the U.S. from China. Right? That's where AliExpress is. And I bought things from them before. So finally, it was on a plane. It arrived at local airport. It didn't say which airport. Have no clue. Yesterday, I called up the customs department at JFK Airport, which is normally where the stuff flies into for East Coast shipping. So I talked to the customs agent there at JFK, and they said, we can't really do anything for you. You need to go to your local post office. Well, post office doesn't understand a Chinese tracking number. No, I don't have any geographical specifics here, John or Bob. I just saw the oil pumps, and I said I want to have some oil fields. So it could be like Jed Clampett, but in New Jersey. Now AliExpress is in China, Floyd. So because I've tracked the packages before, and the names of the towns in China, I recognize those names because I used to work with a company in Manhattan, New York, and we dealt with a lot of places in China that the company worked for. So I recognize some of those names. So it's definitely in China. So it came into the local airport. Now, I don't know if it went out to California or California, whatever you want to call it. It could have came into LAX, but normally I ordered them from this place before. They always come into JFK. I see that. And hey, Mike, how you doing? Welcome. So um, it is sitting there at the local airport customs, waiting to come out. Hey, Monzel, welcome. Glad to see you in here. So I I wrote a letter yesterday to Mr. Donald Trump, President Trump, and expressed my concerns and stuff like that. So, um, hey, Ray, welcome. I consider my bus line as power to the track from the controller, including the feeders. The local net Cat 5 is different. I have many local net connections for the throttles, but only one bus wire for, for power. Yeah, yeah. Everybody things different. I have several DCC bus lines that are strictly for accessories. So lights, the NCE lighted, the um, turnout motors and stuff like that, they're all connected to the DCC accessory bus line. Okay. Uh, I had to take some of the motors that I have off of the DCC accessory bus line because all my accessory DCC bus lines are connected to a um, a 5 amp booster that's made by hey Russ from Rockin' HO Trains and stuff. Welcome, Russ. Um, so that doesn't give me enough volts to control the motors on some of the turnout motors I have. Those are those DP4s. So I had to move them to the track bus line so that I could power the frogs. Because the uh, motor, the in the not the motor, but the aux connections in the motor need 12 volts. So and that DCC 5 amp system, the same people that make the frog juicers and everything, Cam Valley, those guys, it's only putting out 9 volts of power. And he said power supply. So then I bought a power supply from him that was to go up to 12 volts and more. And when I put that on the system, it did not work at all. So I leave them to where they are. They work fine. Yeah, that's right. So it's been a crazy week with all the cleaning and stuff. And if I can get this uh, Sherlock detector working, then I'll be able to start running the trains and all by just pushing a button. A panel that I created. I don't know if we can see that. uh, maybe on this camera, I can move it over and show the panel. I don't know if it can, you can see that low. And now you're not going to be able to see it. It's not going to be clear enough. But there's a panel right here, and it has all the push buttons that I'll need to start the trains and stuff. So uh, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I can imagine, Bob, from the Ukraine. Hope it wasn't a bride to order. But yeah, so um, that's the only thing holding me up is getting the Sherlock detector to function properly. So, uh, so back to those uh, things I ordered from AliExpress. They're sitting there saying, waiting for something in customs and this and that. And the customs agent I spoke to said it could sit in customs for 90 days. I said, 90 days? That's ridiculous. I could have taken a slow boat to China and come back in less than 90 days. So I sent a letter to President Trump, see if he can do something for me. And we'll see if I get a response from him. It'll be interesting to see. So, see, I don't mess around at the top. I don't mess around with the peons down at the lower levels. I go where the buck stops. Try to get something done. So that's holding me up from getting the other pumps working. Those motors died out, and the new motors when I get them. Maybe next time I should order the motors for all of them so I have a spare on. So yeah, yeah. I've seen where he responds, so we'll see. I didn't send it out yesterday, so I don't know if he had a chance to look at it, but we'll see. But so it's just like spending a lot of time printing this and printing that, going on Tinkercad, redoing some stuff to make it fit right and everything. All takes time. And when you're only one person, you got to do everything yourself. So I'm a jack of all trades and master of none. So that's how it works. Next video, I'm testing an NCE power guy. Yeah, well, the order that I just got today was expected to be delivered tomorrow. Okay. It came from New Hampshire, where Tony's Trains Exchange is, right? It left New Hampshire on Friday. It arrived at my post office on Sunday. Now, packages should never get sent from anywhere to my post office directly. They all go to a town called Kearney, New Jersey. That's down by Newark, New Jersey, and Elizabeth, New Jersey. Right? So when it normally says it came into my town, about an hour later, it departs from my town. But the first time I saw that, I said, what are they doing? Why are they sending it here and they're not putting it out for delivery? They departed it. And then what happens is it ends up in Kearney, New Jersey. And then the next day, Kearney, New Jersey brings it back to my town. It's there. So, yeah, there you go, Dwight. So I shipped something out to a guy in Utah who built some of my systems, signals. Like the signal you see here flickering red, that's not because it's on. That's the camera eye seeing that. And he made me that signal because I needed a low double-headed signal for in the subway tunnel. I want a tall one. So I had one of those on the other side of the layout that the green light didn't work in the signal. So I emailed him. He said, send it to me. I'll fix it for you. I mailed it to him. He had that in 2 days from New Jersey to Utah. 2 days. It arrived in Utah, and then the next morning, the third day, he had it. So it took 2 days. When he shipped it back to me, it took a week. So it's only stuff coming east that has a problem. You send stuff from the East Coast to the West Coast, no problem at all. Getting there on a timely manner. Okay? I sent out some NCE lighters to NCE to repair. 5 or 6 of them. Back in September, October of last year. They couldn't get any parts to fix them. I get notification by the post office that a tracking number has been created. They shipped it out. Now, it's supposed to be here tomorrow. No, it's supposed to be here Friday. Today's Wednesday. 23rd. Tomorrow's the 22nd. Right? So that package arrived in my post office today. My post office departed it a couple hours later. Now, I haven't looked. It should be in Kearney, New Jersey, the next update. They just waste time, and it goes all over the place. Yeah, it is, Mike. I used to work for FedEx, and we had a handheld device, and we had to scan every package that came off the belt by hand. We didn't have scanners on the belt, and then they just go down. They had them out in Memphis, Tennessee. That was a bigger place, but our station, you had to scan each one by hand. Okay. Post office doesn't scan by hand. They scan things on the belt. So they put the package on the belt, and then hopefully they put the label in the right position so that the scanner can see it. And how fast is the belt going? Who knows? I've seen the post office operation to understand it. But I know I've talked to people in the post office, and that's what they're doing. They're not scanning by hand. They put it on a belt so that the scanner can see it, and then they pick it up, right? there's no way in hell that a package should be coming into my town directly from anywhere in the United States. My town is a small town. There's 30,000 people in this town, not that many. Okay. And it's not a hub. But what's even funnier is about less than a mile from my house, they put up all these warehouses in this field that used to be a farmer's field. Now they have all these warehouses out there. And one of the buildings is the U.S. Post Office, and it's a distribution center. Now, do you think they would be smart enough that stuff is destined for this area to go to there instead of all the way across the state to a distribution center that's almost in New York? I mean, it's an hour across the state this way, going east to west. It's an hour. Get on 78 in less than an hour. You're at New York City's doorstep. Okay, it's coming the other way. It's an hour, and you're on the Pennsylvania step. So it's an hour between the two states. Not very wide. But why do they have to send it all the way down there to come back? The people in my local post office cannot. They don't have the authorization to go into that distribution center that's 1 mile away from me. I'm less than a half a mile away from the post office. I can walk to the post office and I can walk to that distribution center. And they don't have the right, they don't have the permission to go into that building to get packages to bring out here. So how stupid is that? So yeah. So everybody wastes money, James. That's the name of politicians. They know how to waste money. So that's what's going on. And like the package that came from Tony's Trains and things, like I said, it arrived in my town post office on Sunday. It then arrived. It didn't say it departed. It arrived in my town. Then the next thing it said was in transit. And then the next thing that was scanned was it arrived in Kearney, New Jersey. Now, this is Sunday. And I look at that. It's in Kearney. Great. It'll be out for delivery on Monday. I said, it's good. Right? No. I looked at the again for another project, and as soon as I got there, boom, it said departing from my post office. And that's all it said for 3 days. Now, it doesn't take, welcome. It doesn't take 3 days to go from my town to anywhere in New Jersey. 3 days, I could have been out in the Midwest somewhere, or even farther. I could be almost to California in 3 days, driving straight through. So, yeah, that's right, Bob. They're talking about having FedEx and UPS pick up the post office's package program because they are going from good to bad. They were great. I had things coming in the mail on a regular basis, no problems at all. But since December, the mail service has gone to hell here, and it's not reliable. Well, what it is you got a lot of people that are working for the post office now that don't have the same qualities of the people that used to work in the post office. The rain, hails, sleet, and snow slogan that they used to say, we get the mail no matter what. When it rains, snows, sleets, and everything, they run and hide now. Well, that's because their workers make too much money. It's delivering the mail, for God's sakes. And when I worked for FedEx, I wasn't making $100 an hour. I was making a good wage. I was part-time, so I had to work a lot of extra to get a full-time pay out of it. But I made good money. And we weren't unionized. So at one point in time, the U.S. Post Office is the only government entity that made money. But we know what happened when they made all the money. The politicians took it and used it for all the crap that they do. So now they people working for the post office that don't know what they're doing. So accidentally ordered the same item from Japan, and the next day from New York. Japanese package has already arrived, but New York package is with you. Right. Yeah, sure. Some places can ship it out quickly. Japanese are very efficient in that. But China's pissed off at America, so they're going to take their time sending stuff out. And what are you going to do? So, well, I thought the Canadian Post Office was on strike before, and then the strike was over up there. I guess there's still things going on. Maybe say up here, and well, right? Yeah, so it's kind of crazy with all this stuff going on. So, and this order here is the most important one because that helps me get the trains running again. And it came a day early, but it sat in New Jersey for 3 days before it got here early. It could have been here the next day. It was in New Jersey. That's my point. You would think they would want to get the packages out as soon as possible and get them out of their system instead of sitting on them in a distribution center for days or wherever the heck it is. They don't even tell you where it is, because if it was sitting in Kearney, New Jersey on Monday, like I thought it was, I would have drove down there and picked it up and got it by just going there. So yeah, so it's like, what are you gonna do, you know? But so with and then like UPS, I have a package coming from Iron Planet Hobbies. It's a couple of NCE lightings. I needed a couple more for a signal that I'm working on, and they shipped it out. Next day, UPS got it, said they have the package, and it goes from, I don't know what town my office is without looking it up again, but they uh, sent it to a place called Earth City, Missouri. It sat there for 2 days, and then they departed it from Earth City, Missouri, and it's been sitting there saying departed from, and no updates. And I got a message on my phone today that it'll be here tomorrow. Well, I don't know how that's going to happen unless they missed the scan somewhere, because normally it comes in to a town in Pennsylvania, and then from there it comes to my town. Sometimes. Other times, it goes to a town in New Jersey called Secaucus, New Jersey, which is the world's largest UPS center. And they then send it out to back New Jersey, and then they send it to my town. So, uh, well, yeah, those models are real nice, Bob. I used to make models when I was a kid, but I haven't gotten into that anymore. Maybe when I get my model, tinker around with some of them. The models turned into rockets, and then I used to make my own rockets and shoot them up. The EST rockets. I used to get their engines. You just ignite them, and then they would shoot that, the thing up. Design my own uh, space shuttle, and this, the Apollo 11. I made that. I made a crawler for the tower launch pad. That was a science project I did. Then we shot it up at the school with 3 mice in it. They grew, and it was 2 of them died because it went over 1,000 feet up, and the other one survived. So it wasn't too bad. The cone, or the command module, was made out of a Coke can, and I cut out the hatch and the windows, stuff like that. So, and then I used a funnel. My mom gave me one of those metal funnels, small one. That was the cone part of the capsule. So, yeah, so that was interesting. It took 5 of those STs, the big engine motors they had at the base, and then it split. The first one split, the chutes came out on that one, and then it landed on the ground. Then the second stage went, and then the last stage was just the command module. And then it went up a little bit higher, and then the parachute came out in the middle. So that was a pretty cool thing in school. I was in 7th, and I was going into 8th grade when I did that. A lot of fun back then. Kids today, they don't do those things anymore. Yeah, multi-stage, yep. So it was, well, we had, STs had multi-stage, smaller rockets, 2 stages. But my Saturn V stood about, I don't know, maybe 42, 45 inches tall. It was maybe 10 inches in diameter at the bottom, and then made its way up. Yeah. It was a lot of fun doing it. Like I say, kids today, they don't know what fun is. Everything is electronic stuff, Get if we had the electronic stuff as kids, we would have It was, I watched the YouTube video. A guy was saying something. His kid was complaining to him that he didn't understand how to use the electronics and stuff. And he says, we're all experts in electronics and stuff like that. He goes, yeah, but we're the ones that invented them. So he put him in his place real quick. Nobody, Bob, nobody at all. So, yeah, I designed the space shuttle before they even had a space shuttle like that. So they didn't know what it was. I just took the rocket that looked like a plane, and then I made a smaller rocket and mounted it on top of that. And then the engine on that, once that burned out of the airplane, the engine ignited the other engine on the shuttle part plane, and then that flew up higher. So, okay, James, thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you later. Have a good night. Appreciate you being here. So, that was in the good old days. So, but anyhow, it's been an hour. I want to thank everybody that stopped in and appreciate everybody. If y'all have any time on your hands, uh, if you can watch some of my playlists to get my watch hours up, I'd appreciate that. You don't even have to watch it. Just turn them on your device or something and let them play. Some of them are interesting. I've been trying to create more. A couple of them on there right now. I got more to create. So anybody got time to watch something, get my watch hours up so I can take advantage of my 500 plus subscribers here. I'd appreciate it. So again, I want to thank everybody for stopping in. I appreciate it. I'll see you all next week, next Wednesday's show, which is my usual night. And hope you all have a great night and enjoy the rest of the week. And we'll see you all again soon. This is Tom signing off. Have a good night.